time again for another ranking video. And I know these are only going to get harder as I go, but this I think has been my hardest category yet, and it's only because I didn't realize I had so much. I really didn't. So blush apparently is one of my favorites. And I never reach for the same blush all that often. I really don't. But yeah, I've got some stuff to say about blush, so let's get into it before I start rambling again. So I'm gonna do face palettes again because they have blush in them, and you know, sometimes it's like a face palette of everything, you know, so I can't just stick them. Maybe I should have just done one face palette category. I don't know, but we're gonna break it down with blushes. So we're gonna do face palettes, and yeah, so here we go. So very first is this. We talked about this in the bronzer video, and this is the Elf and Jen Atkin collab. The only reason I just don't reach for this because it's just not, I'm going more for singles, honestly, these days. I'll just be honest. It's a good formula. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a beautiful color. I mean, totally up my alley, but just, I don't reach for it all that often. I need to reach for it more, so I should put it in a place where I can get to it better. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that I don't reach for it all that often, so that's why it's ranked a little bit lower. Next on the list is this Juno & Co. Margarita palette. So there's two highlighters in here. This one's like a jelly highlighter, and this is a regular highlighter, a bronzer, and a blush. And so this blush is really, really pretty because it's like an ombre. See how that is? And I love it because it's so peachy, and it has some shimmer to it. Maybe you can see if I hold my hand like this. I don't know. See that shimmer? It's really, really beautiful. I love the peachy. You'll see peachy tones over and over, but I love this. I love the color of it. I just don't reach for face palettes all that often. I'll just be honest with you. These are my least reached for things. Next is Too Faced Sweet Peach or Sugar Peach. This has two blushes in here. So this is a pink shimmery blush. It's almost like a duochrome blush actually, because it has some flecks of gold in there. I hope it might show up there. And then there's Sugared Peach, which is a peachy one, of course. More peach. So here is the Sugared Peach right here. So this one's first and this one's second. So this and this. Really beautiful, very pigmented. Love them. Just don't reach for them all that often, and I need to reach for them more. It smells like peaches too, and that makes it even better. So next is this Pharmacy palette. This is the Peachbot palette, and it has a peachy blush in here, and this is a contour palette. So let me rub in here. So here it is. It's about like that one, except it's just a matte. So it's very beautiful. I love it. I can repeat myself all day, but you know, I just don't get a face palette all that often. So it's very beautiful. I love this palette, honestly. It's just that I don't reach for it as much as I should. Next is this Ofra palette. This is the Good to Go palette. This blush right here. So that would be called Intentions, and it's very beautiful. Ofra's formula on just about anything is good. I love their face products and their bronzers especially, but this is a beautiful blush. Very pinky. It's a palette. I just don't reach for palettes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So back to a Physicians Formula and Casey Holmes. This is a beautiful blush, and you can buy this in a single. This is Copper Cabana. They smell really good too. So it has, like, of course, a copper tone. This is a really beautiful blush for like fall time. So very, very pretty. Gorgeous, gorgeous blush. And I'm even thinking about putting a little bit on right now. Okay, so I can't do that with every one of them, but I love this. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to depot this eventually so that I use this more, because it's just so big. It stays in the bottom of my drawer now and I don't reach for it all that often. So it's beautiful. It's too big. Next is the Cheek Leaders from Benefit. There are 3 blushes in here, right? Yes. So there's California. I'll show you this one. This is a beautiful, bright, pinky peach. This one here. And this one is called Dallas, which actually, in my opinion, could almost be a bronzer. That's my humble makeup opinion. And then there's this very light pink, which is called Dandelion, and it's beautiful. So these are the 3 blushes here. So California, Dandelion, and Dallas. So pretty. Just gorgeous. Then I have this Physicians Formula palette, and it has 1 blush in here, which is this one here, and it's called Happy Booster Glow and Mood Boosting Blush is all it says. It was limited edition for this palette, but it's really pretty. Let me show you what it looks like. I swirled everything together. So it's just a very light pink. So pretty. It's just a very nice little flush onto the cheeks. So pretty. There's different colors in there. So when you swirl everything together, it's just a really nice little color. Another Ofra palette, Life's the Draft. And then this is the blush 6 is what this is called. So let me swatch this one. So it's a deeper, like mauve color. So pretty. I love this. And it's gorgeous. I do use this one just a little bit more than the others, and I'm just into those little deeper shades this time of year, so that's why I reach for it. This is the Hourglass Sculpture Edit. There are 2 blushes in here, actually. So one is called the Strobe Blush in Vibrant Flush, which is this here, and then there is the blush in Mood Exposure, which is this one here. So let me swatch it for you. So this is the Vibrant Flush, and this one is Mood Exposure. Mood Exposure is a very unique blush to my collection. I don't have very many like purpley blushes like that, so I love that. I think it's so pretty, and it's a purple blush that, you know, it's not something that a lot of palettes or blushes come in, so it's very unique, and the Hourglass formula is absolutely amazing, so these 2 are good. And I think Mood Exposure you can buy by itself. The Strobe Blush, maybe the one you can't, I can't remember. So next is my Saharan Blush Volume 2 from Juvia's. I love all these. I'm going to swatch them all for you, because what would this be if I didn't? So here are all the blushes swatched. This one is called Yara. This one is called Sola. This one is called Tau. This purpley one is called Bee. This one here, which is a shimmery pink, is called Zoba, and this last one is called Lena. So very beautiful. What I usually do when I reach for this palette, I will mix everything together. So if I'm going for a certain look, you know, I might mix these 3, or I might mix these 2 and this one, or, you know, I'll just like play with it and do what I want. But that's the best thing about a blush palette, is that you can customize it. So I may never get the same blush color twice, and that's okay. I love this. So beautiful, so pretty. Just some of the best formula ever is Juvia's. So next, these actually should have been a little bit lower. I don't hardly ever reach for these blushes, so I don't know why I put these up so high. Honestly, these could have been lowest, because the only reason I usually reach for these is for the bronzer. I'm just gonna be real. So this is kind of last, but not because they're bad, it's just I don't reach for them. So this is the Jacqueline Blush and Bronzer Duo, and this is the shade Lilac Love and Top Tan, and then this is the Lilac Love Blush. So here is that lilac. So pretty, and like I said, those are unique shades. I don't have a whole lot of those, so it's good to have them. Then here is another one. Like I said, this probably should have went last, because I really don't reach for these all that often. This one is Warm Flush and Golden Goddess, and the Golden Goddess, Warm Flush, sorry, right? I don't know. This is the blush out of that one. I don't know which is which. Oh gosh. Really pretty, gorgeous blush. I'll reach for this one more than the lilac one, but most of the time I'm just getting those for the bronzers. Although I'm gonna have to start getting that one because it's pretty. And then here's another Jacqueline. I didn't mean to put them all together, but I did. And this is her Bougie Rouge Rouge Romance palette. This is so pretty. And I'll wipe my hand off so I can swatch all these together. Are you holding on to your seat? Because these are some bright blushes, okay? So pretty though. I love this. There was no question I was going to get the warm palette when these came out. So this first one here is called Boudoir, Tea Room, Tempting, Fancy Pants, one of my favorite shades, and Pretty Posh. These are probably my 2 favorite shades out of here. And this last one is called Ever After. Gorgeous. And honestly, the location of this makes it a little bit more accessible to me in the top drawer here. So that's why I use these a little bit more. But I love these. Next, I have another one, Lunar Beauty. And the only reason I reach for this one a little bit more, I found the shades a little bit more wearable in here. But, I mean, this one's gorgeous too. But these are just a little bit more muted, and I feel like I can wear them. So, let me swatch these for you. So, here are these, definitely different. This one is a lighter pink. It's called Pink Moon. And then this is Twilight, Spacey, Soleil. Soleil is a shimmer. It's the only shimmer in here, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Then Stargaze and Gravity. So pretty. I love all these. Then next is another Juvia's. I just reached for this one because it's a little bit more accessible. This is the Blush Volume 2 palette, and these are the 2 blushes in here. And usually I'll mix the 2. So I'm going to swatch them separately, and then I will swatch together for you. So here is the first one. This one here. And then that pink one, of course, is this one. And then together, that's the color they make. So this is usually the shade I'm wearing if I'm wearing this palette, just because I like to mix the 2. Makes a perfect peachy blush. And my number 1 palette, believe it or not, I just got this at the time that I'd done my bronzer video, and now I've had it a little bit, and this I reach for daily now. And it's literally daily because I use this whole palette on a daily basis. I just love this. I love it so much. And I'm using it so much that, like, there's a dome shape in there, and I don't know if you can tell. This dome has went down a little bit because I use the bronzer so much. But it's a baked formula. It's the 3-in-1 cheek palette from Ulta. It's Santorini Sun. And this blush I use daily because I grab this palette and this is what I get ready with on a daily basis. So here is the shade there. It's just a very neutral but mauve-y, almost a little bit deeper tone too, for me personally. And I love it. But what I'll do is I'll just use this. I'll put the bronzer in the crease of my eye, and then I'll put that on the lid. Of course, bronzer over my face, and this on my cheek, and this on for highlighter, and I have it all in one palette. So that's why I've been using this so much. And it's only a $15 palette, and so yeah, that's why I like it. But yes, I love this blush. That's my most used palette at the moment, and probably the most used blush at the moment. Makeup has changed for me since I've moved everything down here. Makeup's really changed, so now I'm only reaching for like certain things, you know, because they're in my makeup bag upstairs, and so I don't have everything available to me, and so it's a little bit different. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep on with powders, and then we'll go on to creams and liquids in a second. But I'm gonna shock a whole lot of people here, and this is just my least used blush, okay, as far as a single powder. This is the Nars Orgasm. Beautiful, nothing wrong with it, gorgeous shade. And I always wanted it. See, it has that gold reflect. I always wanted it because, I mean, it's iconic. Everybody wants it. Everybody, you know, pines after this shade. And I finally got it, and it was okay. But it didn't blow my mind. And I have others I like better. So, yeah, I mean, it's not horrible at all. I just don't reach for it all that often because I have others that I like better. So, yeah. Next is this from the Saved by the Bell and Wet n Wild collection. This is the It's Alright Duo, Jessie and Slater. And I've not used it really, but this would be my least used, just for the shades. It's not horrible, it's just not my favorite. So here's the lighter and the darker. Really pretty. And they'd be a pretty mix too. And then next is the Nerd Alert, which this is Screech and Lisa. Would be my next one just because of the colors. The shades, I guess, is the better terminology. But here are the shades on that one. Swatch just like that. They're really pretty, very muted, very powdery too. So I just don't reach for these a whole lot because they're kind of like collector's items for me. And then my most used out of this one would be the Relationship Goals, which is Zach and Kelly. Not just because it's Zach and Kelly, but I just love these shades because this one is a blush and this one is a highlighter. So I love them both. I'll just swatch the blush. Actually, I'll just do the highlighter too. Even though I'm not doing a highlighter video, I won't pull this back out on my highlighters. But usually I would use this in conjunction with one another. But I love both of these. They're so beautiful. And then here's another Wet n Wild Hello Halo. This is After Sex Glow, but I believe they renamed it to I Met Someone. So I apologize if that's offensive. This is so gorgeous. So one side's a highlighter and one side's a blush, but they're both very shimmery. So, and this formula is a little bit better than the Saved by the Bell one, if I'm being honest. So these look very similar, these highlights, but I'm telling you, this one's better. As far as formula goes, now, I'm a collector, so I'm glad I have these. I collect a lot of makeup. But, I mean, yeah. These are beautiful. Next is my Colourpop blush. This was from, I forget the name of it. I forget the name of the collection. They have so many, I can't keep up. But this is the pressed powder blush in Wayfarer. Sorry, there's a mirror, I forgot. And so this is really beautiful. I used to reach for this a lot. And the only reason I don't reach for it as much is because there is a micro glitter in here. And I don't know if you can even see it. But I promise you there is a micro glitter. And I'm not big about having glitter on my cheeks, honestly. So it's beautiful. I love the shade. I just don't want micro glitter on my cheeks. So that's why I don't reach for that one as often. And then also this one is the same. Basically, I just reached for it a little bit more because of the shade. I like this shade a little bit better. This one's called Crossroads and micro glitter in it. I love the shade. Here's the swatch here. And I love this shade a little bit better. And I love the packaging on this even. But I don't like the micro glitter. I just don't. I don't want glitter on my face. But I have a new Colourpop favorite that has trumped this. And I'll show you in a second. Next is my e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush. This one is the shade Always Cheeky. This one is a matte formula. I've had this forever. It's very beautiful. It's a very light peachy blush. It's so pretty. I just don't reach for it as much, but it's still really good. A great formula. I love this. Then I also have the e.l.f. Primer Infused Shimmer Blush, and this one is Always Cheery. So there's a shimmer in this one. I love the feel of these. They feel so nice. And of course, this one is a brighter color. So this one was the matte one, and then this one is the brighter shimmer. So pretty though. Next, I have my Kimchi Thaler blush. This is the Thaler blush in the shade Grace. So there's two sides to this. So there's the blush side, which is gorgeous. Very much like the e.l.f. one. But then there's also the highlight side, which is like a pinky highlight. So there is the highlighter side, or you can mix the two, which is what I do. You get a color kind of like that one. And then I love this one. It's the Milani Luminoso Blush. It's the baked formula. I love this, and this is actually a great alternative. I won't call it a dupe because I don't find that it looks exactly the same, but it's a great alternative to the Nars Orgasm, and actually I prefer this one, to be quite honest. So here's Luminoso, and I'll show you the Orgasm next to it if you want to see it. I find the Milani formula very much more more soft. This one is much more coral. That's a little bit more pinky actually. So Milani, get it. Don't waste your money on the Nars, and I'm not trying to be shady. I'm just saying I like it better personally. So Luminoso is a classic, also just as much as the Nars Orgasm, so get this one. So then I have all these e.l.f. face duos, and I'm gonna again swatch the highlights with these because I don't want to have to pull them back out when I do my highlights. So we'll just save a little time on that because I have a lot of highlights too. So this one is the Cantaloupe Face Duo, and usually I'm using, actually I'll pull out one on these, but I usually like the highlighter on this one a little bit better. The formula on these are really good though, and that is a very unique shade of blush, and so usually I'll mix that in because that blush would just kind of be a little bit plain for me, so I would need a little something more. So that's the Cantaloupe shade. Pomegranate. So here is the Pomegranate shade. It's a deeper shade, of course, a deeper highlight as well. Then we have the Guava shade, and I did get rid of some of these actually, so I don't have all of them like I used to. But here's the shade. It's so pretty. I like pinky and peachy blushes. So here is that one swatched. The highlights are phenomenal. And this is by far my favorite one out of this little face duo thing. This is the e.l.f. Spiced Apple. So pretty. So I love this like burnt coral kind of shade, and then this beautiful highlight too. So pretty. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there, okay? I know this has been a long one, but we're getting there. So moving back into Colourpop for a minute. I love Colourpop. I love these blushes from this collection. I think it was the Dark Blooms or something like that. But these are really good, and I actually kind of all like them right together. This one is the shade Chaise. C-H-A-I-S-E. I don't really know how to say it, but that's how I pronounce it. And this is like a lighter peach. This is the one that I use instead of that Wayfarer. This one is matte, completely matte, no micro glitter in there. It's completely matte. Great formula, love it. Superb. Then I have the shade Vogue, which is this beautiful mauve and burgundy, not burgundy, mauve-y shade is what it is. Purple mauve. So there is the shade Vogue. So pretty. I love this. And then my favorite one out of this collection was the shade Palladial, whatever. And it's a little bit deeper of a coral than the first one, at least. So it's kind of what I go for. This one here. So pretty. Melt. This blush is so beautiful. This is the Buzzkill blush in the Digital Dust Duo Buzzkill blush, I think. I don't know. One side I think is supposed to be a highlighter and one's supposed to be a blush, but I'll actually end up mixing these. So let me just show you how pretty that one is. The formula is superb on these. But here are the two. Can you see that I like a certain shade of blush and highlighter for that matter? If I mix them together, I kind of get something like that. I love this. It's one of the best. There is shimmer in that one though, so forewarning. My Flower Beauty blush in the shade Sweet Pea. I have to think. But it's so pretty. It's like that mauve-y purple. And it has such a good formula too. I said I don't have a lot of these purpley blushes, but look at me. Look at me. So pretty though. I love that shade. And then the Covergirl, I bought this like on a whim and absolutely fell in love with it. This is the Covergirl True Blend blush in Sweet Seduction. Here's the shade on that one. Superb. Love this. Reach for it all the time. And my number one single powder blush is this from Essence. It's the blush in Bespoke, and it's actually a very neutral shade, but I love this and I wear it all the time. I'll wear it with like bronzy looks and it looks so good, and I just love this. See, it looks almost like a bronzer, but it's not. It's a really beautiful shade for the cheeks, and so I love this. It's so good. And by far, this is the most reached for blush. single in my whole collection. So I need to try more of these from Essence because this is a great formula. But this is so amazing, and I think everyone should try this shade. I'm gonna do it. Whitney, do you have enough blush on? No, I don't. I don't, thank you. I like blush. Pretty. Obviously it's mixed, so it's not just one today, but yeah. There, I toned it down a little. So pretty though. I love this stuff. If you've not tried an Essence blush, this is the one to try. All right, we're entering the home stretch. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize how much blush I had. I didn't. Should I make this one a new video? Should I do that? It's not enough for a whole video by itself. Okay. So, these are all my cream and liquid blushes, and it's a lot. Because I love it. This pains me too, but this is just one I reach for the least. It's not horrible by any means. I just don't reach for it all that often. This is the Natasha Denona blush serum in the shade. It doesn't have a shade on here. There's no shade on this one, but it's the pink one. So I'll show you a swatch. Here's a swatch of it. First of all, it's really expensive and I don't reach for it all that often, and I need to. But here's what the shade looks like. So it's basically the same. Like, I feel like it's very beautiful when it's blended out too. I'm not a liquid blush girl. So I don't have a lot of liquid blushes, but I do have a couple, and this is my least reached for liquid blush. My next one is another liquid blush, and this is actually, it's a Vanessa Myrick's Color Fix Glaze, so you can use this for eye, lip, and cheek. And this is in the shade Cupcake. It's a beautiful, beautiful shade, and I love it. I just don't like the liquid aspect. So, has a little squeezy tube. A beautiful little component though. I need to use this more. It was expensive too. But here's just a little bit, and then I'm going to swatch, like kind of blend it out a little bit. And it feels a little bit more sticky as I'm blending, but it actually does kind of dry down very nicely. And of course I would set it, but here it is. That. Next is this one. I've just had it a long time, and it may be time to like trash it. This is the Basic Beauty Jelly Blush, and it's October 3rd. So here's what it looks like. I did hit pan on this one. Proud of myself on that. Yeah, we're gonna have to trash this one. It's not so much jelly anymore. It's a beautiful shade. I used to reach for it constantly. It was one of the very first like jelly blushes I ever had. It is getting dry and crusty, so it's going in the trash actually right now. But I did like it better than my liquids. Next, Elf. Again, I'm going to say about the exact same thing I said about the putty blushes, or putty bronzer, sorry. I liked them when I didn't know a lot about cream products. And since I've gotten to know a little bit more, I'm not as crazy about them. I just don't like the formula. So this is the shade Bora Bora. Let's see if I can get in there. Kind of make it. So it's a nice pinky color. See if I can brighten it up a little. It's really pretty. It's not as intimidating as it looks. You know, it's not that bad. When you blend it out, it's really not bad. But I just don't know to the formula. This one is Tahiti. So here's the shade on it. Let me swatch it. I was really excited about this shade, honestly. I just wish that I liked the formula better. If I knew a little bit more about cream products, maybe I wouldn't have gotten it when I did, but I've just learned a lot lately about cream products. So here's the shade Tahiti again. Really beautiful though. And then my favorite shade out of the bunch is Turks and Caicos. And it's a peachy shade. Imagine that. I know you're shocked. I know. So here is my peachy Turks and Caicos. That's what I go for. Really beautiful. I just wish the formula was a little bit better, honestly. That's all. So this is my Milani Cheek Kiss cream blush. There's nothing wrong with this necessarily. This is the shade Coral Crush. It's really beautiful. I just prefer different shades than this. So let me show you the shade. The formula is a little different on this one too. So see, yeah. Bam, in your face. I think the bright color is what keeps me away from this one. It's not a bad formula at all. It's just pretty bright, and I don't go for that bright of a blush all that much, so that's why it's a little bit lower. One of the very first exposures I had to any kind of cream blush or anything like that was this. It was the Natasha Denona Valentine's Day Love Cheek Duo, and so we have the blush in here called Pink Coral, which is really beautiful, and I absolutely loved it, and I still do, honestly. I just don't reach for this one as much, and this is more of like a cream to powder formula, and I don't know why I don't reach for it as much, other than it just location of where I store it, I guess, maybe, but I do. The color is really pretty. A beautiful color. I'll go ahead and swatch this too, so I don't have to pull it back out when I do my highlighters. Maybe I will, I don't know. But I love this. It's a beautiful duochrome highlight. So pretty. I love this. The highlight shade is Pink and Golden Champagne. But yeah, I like this cream blush. I like it much better than her liquid blush. So yeah, I would reach for this over the liquid any day. Then I have this Jelly Dough blush from Holika, and it's in the shade, what's the shade? Nuts Jelly. All right, so the packaging on this is really cute. It has a mirror, and then it has this little cushion, and it's just so cute. But I love the shade. This is like a very neutral shade, and I think that's what kind of drew me in. And it is jelly, so it's not going to be super creamy, but let me show you. And it actually, it looks like Play-Doh. So here is the swatch, and can you tell how I like pushed in there? It's like a Play-Doh. It's really a dough. It's really a dough. But it's beautiful. I love this, and I love that shade so much. I reach for it a lot. Next, let's go for the Melt cream blushes. These are so pretty. I'm so glad I have them. This one is the shade Polished. Oh, so pretty. This one has a sheen to it. So pretty. I love these blushes so much. They blend beautifully. Some of the best cream blushes on the market for sure. They're expensive, so bear that in mind, but these are beautiful. Love them. Then we have the Melt cream blush in Honey Thief. This one is my favorite from Melt. It is a flat matte look. No shimmer or anything, but it's coral, of course. So that's the one I would reach for, huh? Next, I have the Tower 28, and this is the Beach Please cream blush, and it's in the shade Rush Hour, and I love this too. So pretty. Again, you'll see a theme in the shades I choose. But this is so pretty. I love this. I love the packaging on this too. It's just like, it's very sleek, and at first I was like, is that gonna look cheap? But when I got it, I can tell like it's not cheap at all. And then my Rare Beauty blush. I love this blush. This is the Melting blush in Nearly Neutral. The packaging on this is like 10 out of 10. A little mirror in here, and then here's the blush itself, and I love it because it is so neutral. Like, I feel like I could wear this on my lips and be good. I'm not gonna be able to swatch this all the best, but I'm telling you, it just like right here, it looks so good on the skin. I wear this, I'll put this on for my cream blush, and then I will set it with my Essence blush. So these two go really good together. Even though my Essence blush, like this doesn't have shimmer or anything in it, the Essence blush does have a little bit of sheen to it. But yeah, love this. I want to try more shades of that one day, if I could ever get through some of this other stuff, you know? Some of my favorite like cream products for cheeks are from Colourpop, and these are their Super Shock cheek colors. This one is in the shade Drop of a Hat. I swirled too much in that one. I've been using this quite a bit lately and I've made a mess. But here is what it looks like. This one has a sheen. It's like a gold reflect to it. Hope you can, there you go. You can kind of see it there. Love this. I've been using it quite a bit. Then I have this one in Overdramatic. So pretty. This one is matte. It doesn't have any shimmer or anything in it. This one's very neutral, much like a lot of what I prefer actually. This is Drop of a Hat. And my very first cheek Super Shock cheek product that I got from Colourpop was this one. It's called Between the Sheets, and I love this one. It's getting a little drier. And it's the one I go for the most actually. What is this? It's just a little bit more neutral, not as coral. So my top two, can anybody guess what they are? I feel like I go back and I'm editing these videos and I'm like, Whitney, you've had like her products in every top, everything. What's wrong with you? I was such a hater on Jacqueline at one point, and here I am, like she's the top on everything. But I use her products so much. She has a great brand. I'm sorry, she does. I'm gonna just rank these in order of how I've used them. This one's a little bit newer, so I don't use it as much as this other one. So this one is called Overruled. This is her cream to powder blushes. How gorgeous is that? Like it just, oh, it's so good. I had to go upstairs and get these. Like these are in my makeup bag. I love them so much. And this was the first shade I got, which is Swoon. Shocker, it's a coral. But I love them so stinking much. So her blushes are my #1 pick. Like that's what I go for. This shade is my #1, and then this is a very close second. So Overruled and Swoon. So pretty. We're finally done, guys. This might be the longest video yet, and I am so sorry because I did not have the intention of making this like super long. I just wanted to include all my blushes, and maybe I should have just split it up. I don't know, but I did. I included all of my blushes, and I had more than I even realized that I had. I have way too much. I know. And this just goes like as I'm going through these, and as I go through each category and stuff, I'm like, I so need to get rid of some stuff because #1, it's sitting in my collection and it's not getting used. So I need to get rid of some things because there's no point in letting it go to waste. And am I gonna use it? If it's something I don't reach for all that often, am I going to use it? Am I just being a hoarder? And like for me, I guess I place a lot of value on it because I did, you know, I bought everything myself. So, you know, I place a lot of value on it because of the money that I've invested. And so I think about that and I'm like, okay. I don't know. That's the reason I don't want to like part with things, is because of how much I've invested financially into it. I'll just be honest with you. Like I look at it and I'm like, that was a very, you know, there was blood, sweat, and tears to earn the money and then to go and purchase that. So that's one of the reasons I like to hold on to things. But also I don't want to be a hoarder. I don't know. It's so hard for me to really think about getting rid of some stuff. Because I went through some things and I was trying to get rid of it for a while. Just like a month or so ago. I was trying to get rid of some stuff. This is painful for me. You guys don't understand how painful this is. So yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna stop rambling and whining about something that is so not important, but I don't want you to think that I'm just like oblivious to the fact that I have so much stuff, because I'm not. I know that I do, and I know that I don't need this much, and I'll never be able to go through it all. So I know that. Yeah. I think in my mind I literally thought I can go through it like completely. Like I could finish a whole blush, I can finish a whole foundation, I can finish a whole whatever. And there's just no possibility in me doing that for every single item that I have. Now, there are going to be some that I do finish, but not for every single item. So, okay. I'm going to stop rambling. My therapy session is over. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it somewhat. I hope it wasn't boring. If these are getting boring, let me know and I will quit. But highlighters are next. Oh boy. Oh no. So yeah, fun times ahead. I feel like I have a lot of highlighters, but maybe I don't. Maybe I don't have as many as I'm thinking. I think maybe blush was more than what I assumed I had. So yeah, so keep an eye out for that. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a great day. Bye guys.